From a fan turning a game into a fistfight to the crowd raining racist chants at players, these are times tennis crowds shouted horrible things mid-game. But before we get into the video, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for exciting tennis content. Starting at number 13, we have the time when a fan confused the arena with the wrong lines call. The second round of the 2017 Australian Open saw Andy Murray take center stage against Andrei Rublev. After going up 2 sets, Murray was a few minutes away from sealing the win in the third, only for a fan to ruin it with a terrible call from the stands.
Better to get these experiences now at 19 years of age. I'm not quite sure where the call came from, and nor is...
The call was so well done that it had everyone in the entire arena fooled. The shocking look from Andy Murray just says it all. Even though the point was replayed, scenes like that are unacceptable in an ATP Masters event. We have seen so many erratic crowds over the years, but none comes close to the weird Melbourne fans at number 12. Aryna Sabalenka and the Australian Ashley Barty faced up in the first round of the 2018 Australian Open. 2 sets into the game, it was all fun and games until the Melbourne crowd started mocking Sabalenka with inappropriate moans and grunts.
That's rather ironic. Please. Yeah, oh dear.
It just as a courtesy for the players, please.
Despite the umpire's clear warning, the Aussie crowd just kept on going until they filled the arena with annoying moans. Even their fellow Australian, Barty, was left embarrassed by the Melbourne crowd's reaction. It's nice to see that Australian fans are still as classless as always. Fast forward to 5 years later at the 2023 Australian Open, you would think that the Australian fans would have learned their lesson by now. However, things only got worse. It was in the second round's men's singles match between Novak Djokovic and Enzo Cuoco. All night long, Djokovic was heckled by 4 drunk men dressed as Where's Waldo characters in the stands. However, the heckling kept getting worse, and the drunk clowns turned the game into a full-blown circus. It was at this point that Novak Djokovic had enough of their disrespectful taunts and heckling. Imagine doing all that just to get sent out of the seats you paid for. These fans never cease to amaze me, man. A year later, Novak Djokovic made it to yet another Australian Open, only to find out that the Aussie fans haven't stopped hating him. This time, he was up against fellow Australian Alexei Popyrin in the second round of the 2024 Australian Open. After going 2 sets up against city favorite Alexei Popyrin, Djokovic had a tough night with massive taunts and trash talk from the Aussie crowd. Just as always, the magnificent Djokovic wasn't going down without a fight.
Someone in the crowd must have said something to Novak, and he's saying, come down to the court and say it to my face. So
Djokovic didn't just stop there. He went on to land the game-winning blow right in the face of the disrespectful Australian crowd. That's what you get from poking the bear. Finally, those fans learned their lesson. The fan at number 9 went absolutely diabolical after making one of the most unforgivable phrases ever. It was during the US Open 4th round matchup between 2 of the best tennis players in the game, Alexander Zverev and Jannik Sinner. It was an exciting encounter until it was ruined when a fan did the unthinkable. The fan allegedly sang a German song that translated to "Germany, Germany above all," a phrase that Zverev and most Germans clearly find unacceptable. Come on, man, you should have just kept your mouth shut.
No, it's not that. He just said the most famous Hitler phrase there is.
Still, that's nowhere near the infamous moment that happened at the 2022 IndianWells Masters. It was the second round of the women's singles between Veronika Kudermetova and 4-time Grand Slam champion Naomi Osaka. It wasn't long into the game when a heckler from the stands stood up and screamed, "Naomi, you suck!"
Super happy about that.
That comment took a
Japanese
huge
tennis
toll
star
on Naomi Osaka, who was moved to tears and requested that the umpire send the heckler out of the stadium. But unfortunately, the heckler couldn't be identified. Through pain and tears, Naomi lost the first set without winning a single game before finally losing the second set. Her reaction at the post-game interview just showed how badly that sentence affected her. Damn, that was truly heartbreaking to watch. I hope these horrible people know that these tennis players are humans too. While that was certainly terrible, what the Williams family faced at the 2001 IndianWells Masters was absolutely worse. Back then, Serena and Venus Williams were arguably the biggest tennis sensations in women's tennis. That year, both sisters clashed at the 2001 IndianWells Masters semifinals. However, Venus missed out on the game due to a late injury that gave her younger sister Serena an automatic qualification into the finals. However, the tennis world frowned at the shocking decision and sent heavy boos and racist chants to the Williams family prior to the game.
Simon Reed, there's Venus. And the crowd, an American crowd, booing an American family.
That day, Serena was playing not just against her opponent Kim Clijsters, but against nearly 16,000 fans heckling racist boos at the teenager. Fortunately for Serena, she fought through all the negativity and won the finals game as she was crowned Grand Slam champion. In protest of how horribly they were treated, the Williams sisters boycotted the Indian Masters for over a decade, with Serena returning to the tournament 14 years later at the 2015 IndianWells Masters. As Serena describes it, "Even when I went back 14 years later, it was very traumatizing. Talk about post-traumatic stress and mental anxiety. It was really hard for me." Wow, that was truly heartbreaking. You would think the disrespect would stop there, but the Karen at number 6 took things to a whole new level. It was a lovely day at the 2021 Australian Open, with Rafael Nadal and Michael Mmoh clashing in the second round. After Nadal won the first set convincingly, things quickly turned ugly for him as a woman screamed insults from the stands at the Spanish giant. Regardless of the disrespectful heckling, Nadal just laughed it off. However, this Karen took things a little further. This time she called Rafael Nadal a wanker on national TV. Calling a 22-time Grand Slam champion a wanker and then the middle finger to go on top of all that? Yeah, lock that Karen in jail forever. We've had enough of Australians, so let's take a little trip to Spain at number 5, where a heckler got a taste of their own medicine. This game was the third round of the 2024 Madrid Open. Danielle Collins versus Jacqueline Christian. After losing the first set, Danielle Collins came into the second set with a point to prove, only to get insulted by a fan in the crowd. Instead of waving it off and keeping it professional, Collins took it personally.
You come out
on edge.
and you do what I do, okay? Have a little more respect.
That was very well said, Collins. These fans deserve to be taught a lesson. Next time, they'll know when to keep their mouths shut. At least Collins responded with just words. Gael Monfils, on the other hand, took matters into his own hands. The 2023 UTS Tour hosted Gael Monfils and Frances Tiafoe in a heavyweight clash in Los Angeles. A hometown fan got so excited supporting Tiafoe that he started taunting Monfils from the stands. However, Gael was having none of that as he leaped into the stands to confront the heckler. Talk about the insane leap and then the absolute shock in the eyes of the fan. That was absolutely hilarious. Monfils, being the cool guy as always, still chopped things up with his heckler after the game. Just look at Monfils, man. So inspirational. This video would not be complete without including the most controversial tennis player ever, Nick Kyrgios. Instead of the usual Kyrgios taunts and theatrics, this time it was a fan who instigated it all after allegedly calling the Australian a DICK. Any other player might look over that, but Nick Kyrgios lives for moments like this. It all started with mild trash talks until the fan decided to challenge Kyrgios to a fistfight. Even his wife was left embarrassed in her seat. Nick Kyrgios went on to celebrate every point he won in the face of the hecklers and even sent the heckling fan a tennis ball as a farewell souvenir. However, all that drama only ended badly for the fan as he was dismissed from the arena. No matter how hard you try, you can never out-trick a trickster like Kyrgios. You can try, but trust me, you will surely fail. At number 2, we have the most bizarre interruption to a tennis match you'll ever see. We've seen fans say so many horrible things, but this fan did one of the weirdest things that I've ever seen. Instead of the typical shouts and insults, this woman started making annoying buzzing bee sounds from the stands. This has to be one of the weirdest moments I've ever seen in a tennis game. Well, at least she made sure to apologize. To wrap up the video at number 1, let's rewind the tape to 1982 at the Seiko Masters Finals, John McEnroe versus Peter McNamara. Things got fierce early on when a fan tried to have a dig at McEnroe. However, John McEnroe was having none of the disrespect. That right there is why you never mess with the legendary John McEnroe. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting tennis videos. Catch you on the next one, guys. Take care.